It is time. This is the moment. People keep refreshing their computers, waiting for the next episode to drop, because people cannot live without the knowledge that one man contains in his brain. And he is here now to disseminate it all to you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the superstar Mike Morris, starring in his own podcast entitled Starstruck.
I'm already struck by me. I'm already struck. Protons, neutrons, electrons. I am the cosmic man. Come on over here and I'll pop your head like a pimple, Jim.
Oh, yeah.
That's some of my old lines.
What are they?
The old
still
lines.
work.
They still roll, just dump out. Disseminate.
Yeah.
They just disseminate out onto the microphone.
Right.
Oh, my God. Hey, how's everyone from last week anyway? Did you get over the crossbow story? Did you get over it?
I still listen to it. It's so great. It is so great.
Did you go back and listen to it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't blame you. I got a little follow-up to that.
Really?
And I'm going to have the guy that I shot the crossbow arrow into the home of this guy. He's going to come in with me.
All right.
I'm thinking that's next week. So, but stand by, everybody. All you Starstruck fans, just wait. It's coming. I guarantee it. It's a 2-layer story. Trust me. His perspective is different than mine.
I can imagine. Could you imagine sitting there watching TV and all of a sudden, multiple noises.
Yeah.
And not just one.
One he described as a gunshot. A gunshot. He said it hit the glass that hard. And then it's, of course, stuck into his wall on the other side of his den. Unreal. No kids are at home. The wife is not home. The 2 dogs are not home. Just him upstairs. So I took good aim at the downstairs. I didn't want to hurt anyone.
Yes, exactly.
So anyway, more on that later. I just wanted to find out. That was kind of an epic episode of Starstruck. But we've got more to talk about. Lots more to talk about with free agency and movement around the National Football League. I can't believe what happened to us. And I'm just going to ask you point blank right now. We saw them keeping Sam Darnold 2 weeks ago on both this podcast and the Jim Bob Sports Jamboree podcast. We all thought, common sense wise, it would make all the sense in the world to franchise him and keep him on. But the Vikings, of course, decided to test the market and see if there would be any live money for the top free agent. Duh. There's going to be live money. Yeah. And it shows up. And we thought, well, he's not going to go anywhere else, Sam Darnold. He's not. He's used to having been being treated poorly in New York and other places. He found a home here, we thought, but he's gone. My question is, you're looking for a quarterback now.
Yes, they are.
What was their way of thinking? What do you think they're trying to do with this? Because there literally is no one else on this team that would be considered a starting quarterback in the NFL. You had one that you could pick, you could say we could definitely have it, but now Jones is gone. Daniel Jones is gone.
Right.
To Indianapolis, right?
Correct.
And
1 year, $14 million.
There you go. Good pay for someone on the bench. Oh my God, I played in the wrong time. I was an upside down quarterback. I could throw the ball 100 miles an hour. Never had an interception.
No one ever intercepted one of your snaps.
No,
never.
No. It never happened.
And how many?
Hundreds.
Yes.
I was the assist leader for all the kickers in the league. You know, every single touchdown, only 6 points without me. I'm the 7th point, no matter what.
Right.
But I was disappointed. I really was. I thought we'd found something good. And with another year, I thought, well, it's going to be a decent way to look at this coming season if they keep him. Because you'll get to see him more as himself and confident with who he's with and the teammates and the coach. And all those things made sense to me for him to come back and stay here and put another season together and hopefully stay healthy and get into the playoffs and see if he can overcome some of the quirkiness and the pressure of what playoffs were. I think that was all he was lacking last year, was that big time, that second layer pressure that only comes in the playoffs. And I would have liked to have seen him retry with us, but he's not going to. So what are we going to do? We have to look for someone. We have nothing right now. I know about JJ. Those are all unproven.
They've decided this is their way to go. This is their swing. They're at the plate. It's a 3-2 pitch. This is, if you're going to blow it up, right, when you're a GM and a coach, you don't do it going into the last year of your contract. You don't go to the Wilson and say, you know what, this really didn't work. Let us draft a quarterback and raise him up. You got to do it pretty quick into your tenure, or you're going to be out the door.
Right.
You can't go 4 years, 5 years, and then say, you know what, we haven't got out of the first round yet. You know what, maybe we should draft a quarterback. Let us raise the kid. And if you're the owner by then, okay, no, I've blown plenty of money on you two.
Yeah.
We'll see you later. So if they're going to make this home run swing, that if they connect, they'll be here for a decade if this works out.
Yeah.
And if not, they're gone either way. But this now buys him a couple more years. O'Connell gets his extension. Kwesi is supposedly in line to get his. But I don't mind that they're going to go with the youngster, but I just felt that there was an opportunity to get something for Darnold, that you should have been able to figure out a way. And this is a lack of foresight, because they should have extended him during last season, a 2-year deal at 28 million.
Yep.
And then it's marketable for the next team. And then he goes to them and says, well, I'm not going to be traded to them unless they put some money on the table.
Absolutely.
And then bump him up to a starter's wage.
Right.
And then you could have done something. That's where I think they missed here. Everybody's giddy over all the weight we've added to the team. Both lines are huge. A ton of beef has been added to both the offensive and defensive lines, which we know needed to be addressed. That was one of your pet peeves. Numerous times last season, you said Garrett Bradbury is not being able to set anchor.
Yeah.
And got shoved back. So now they go get a guy who's got a bigger anchor, and hopefully he's not going to get pushed around.
I actually thought that Bradbury did a better job than I've ever seen him do in the last year or so, although he is very prone to injury and missing games, which Darisaw also is on that list as well. But I thought that Bradbury really has picked up his game. I thought he's played much better. But is he the guy that we've had before here in the past at center? I mean, we had a run of centers that was, Mick Tingelhoff and Loudermilk and Jeff Christie and Matt Burke, and just a lot of John Sullivan. We talked about it last week, I think, but we've had a good run, and I don't know if Bradbury fits that list, but he was getting close to it.
We know he's not going to fit into the close of Ryan Kelly.
Right.
6'4", 313.
He's a big one. He's a big one.
That's a big center.
I
hope JJ could see over him when he stands up.
What did Bradbury get up to? I mean, he got his weight up to about 3, didn't he?
I don't think he did.
Okay.
Maybe.
He got better, I know that. But that doesn't mean you can hold an anchor against some of the big interior linemen that they go up against. And Bradbury was not finding a way to slow people down to where you have to be able to anchor and slow people down and at least give some help to a guard and come back and be able to move back and forth a little bit if you're uncovered. So anyway.
He's listed at 300 pounds.
Okay, I thought he barely made 300. That's what I thought.
Right there. So, and they'll give you a little when they post it out there. So he's 300 right now.
Yep. So I think that it was a good move. Picking up a guy that can definitely fit the bill as far as an anchor is concerned.
He was 6'3", too. So it's not that much
difference.
No.
It's a matter of you can play a lot heavier than you are. Mike Webster, I played with Mike Webster in Kansas City. He could sit down and block a 300-pound lineman. He was 255, Mike Webster was. 255 pounds. And he could, all day, stand in front of him. You can play with heavy hands. You can play with a lot of lead in your rear end if you're heavy or not, if you know how to block, if you know how to use your hands. But anyway, I'm happy that they did that. But now, so explain to me what your thoughts are on Daniel Jones being off and running. That was maybe an insurance policy, hoping that maybe that would be some competitive juice for JJ to go up against in training camp and, let the cream rise to the top, and we'll take the best man out of those two. I thought that would be a good way to play it out if we lost Darnold. And so that didn't happen. He's gone.
Right. And I think maybe Jones, since he was in the facility, saw what was going on this offseason, saw how things were tracking towards the end of last year, that he didn't see that he would get a fair shake here to start. That this maybe indicates to me that they're all in on McCarthy. That, even heck, Nick Mullins left.
That's right. That's right.
He went to Jacksonville.
That's right.
So everybody, that quarterback room that was stacked with number one picks, there's only one number one pick
Mullins.
left.
I saw that. So have you ever had a chance to sit down and talk with JJ or Daniel Jones? I mean, have you ever sat down with him?
Jones just did a group thing one day where he just answered questions when he first got here. And, he goes, I'm just excited to learn. And, didn't really say a lot. So that's kind of where we were at with that.
Okay.
And
so, there are so many things that we don't know because we're not in that room.
Right.
And what you're saying is that Daniel Jones could smell it, what the temperature of the water was, and he knew kind of what was being cooked.
Because, let's look at it this way. Last year, the Vikings gave Darnold $10 million, right?
Yeah.
He gets 14, so that's not that much more for a backup quarterback.
Right.
That's a capable guy to come in and play if you have another catastrophic injury like McCarthy got and was out for the season. You could run with him, just like it worked out last year with Darnold.
Right.
And, the Colts say he's going to be in open competition with Anthony Richardson.
Yep.
So he's probably thinking, I could beat out that guy. So that's probably what he took at. But $14 million isn't like the Colts saying, we really think we got our guy here.
Yeah.
And, $14 million, that's like playing a rookie almost.
That's a proving season. That's
right.
You prove yourself, we'll talk about it next year.
Right.
So I agree with you totally. I saw a read on ESPN that said, if he can't beat out Richardson, he shouldn't be in the NFL. Then they turned around and said, but you know what? If Richardson can't beat Daniel Jones and get on the field, he shouldn't be in the NFL either. That was an interesting comment. I've never heard it put like that. But it's true.
Right.
It's kind of true. One guy takes himself out of the game, got all the talent and ability in the world, and he's taking himself out of games when it means the most to the team. And then, of course, Daniel Jones, just as good a guy as you could ask for, I've been told. On the field, off the field, but he just has not been in the right place, much like Sam Darnold, just not in the right place. I would have been excited to have seen Jones here with a bona fide, legitimate shot at playing quarterback against JJ and seeing how that would have played out. I would have liked to have seen how much of it, with Kevin O'Connell helping him out as he did with Darnold, I would have liked to have seen what would have happened. That won't happen. The question is JJ ready? Can he be ready? Does he show them enough already with his knee and the therapy and the rehab on the knee? It must be pretty strong to think that they're going to hold him and leave him in the room and get rid of everybody else. So it's a mass exodus of all the quarterbacks except for the kid with an injury from last year. They must be thinking he's real deal. To let all the other things walk out the door. I just am so surprised with it. I'm so surprised. An unproven rookie from last season that took a knee operation, sat the season out. And granted, he saw a lot of football. You got to watch a lot of football on tape and O'Connell style. And through Darnold, I'm sure he learned quite a bit. I'm sure he had to have. But to say that he already looks that good and he's ready to go, and that this won't happen again, that's still a big question mark to me. Do you have any idea or any reason to believe that they are that high on him? Have they said anything where he looks great right now? Oh, he just looks absolutely fantastic out there on the practice field right now. What we see is the real deal.
They have said he's resumed his on-the-field training. That came up at the Combine. That's what O'Connell put out at that time. And you'll recall last season before he went down at training camp, O'Connell called him a franchise quarterback. That we have our franchise quarterback now in the building.
I really hadn't heard that.
Yeah, he went that far.
That's a big statement.
Yeah, he went that far. That this kid is capable of being the guy.
I hadn't heard that much coming out of the coaching staff or anyone upstairs. Where now that they've got him, he looks great. He looks like the guy that we thought he was in the draft. But that was the first time I'd heard that O'Connell thought he was that much of a real deal, and so that's good enough for me.
Yeah,
I think O'Connell has a pretty good grip on what a quarterback should or should not be.
Well, all the pieces so far in free agency suggest that the Vikings are grooming. They're adding pieces. They're not looking for a major building block, right? Upgrade the offense. We're upgrading things. We're upgrading the offensive line. We've upgraded the interior of the defensive line. We've gotten ourselves a new cornerback. We're fixing pieces that aren't going to make or break your season, right? There's no home run free agent signings. These are great pieces, and if it follows the track record of what Brian Flores has done with what he takes off the street before, the Van Ginkels, the Grenards, the Cashmans, if these pieces that he's added now can flourish to where they became Pro Bowlers, I don't think they're worried about McCarthy, or they would have been doing more scrambling. Either A, they would have gone after Darnold and said, oh, whoa, we're not letting you go on the street. Oh, we're just throw the tag on you to keep you.
Right.
I mean, they could have put the brakes on this. So they've got to be pretty confident in what McCarthy has shown them behind the scenes.
I'm inclined to think that exact same thing because of Crazy's, his track record so far has been very consistent on the good side. I mean, he's made some instinctful, I think, moves to whatever it is, replace a left tackle, this or that. He's had to do that several times. And as you said, the upgrades coming in from referrals from former head coaches in the league that have had these guys play for him is that has turned out more times than not. So I do like his instincts, his business mind, and to not just spend $41 million on something that you should, and the public perception is that you should bring him back. Is he really going to be a better quarterback, or do we think we saw his true colors in the playoffs, and when people get a grip on what they can do to him, he shuts down?
Right.
And so is that his gut instinct, reviewing him and saying, we're not just willing to throw the money that the public is telling us to spend at this guy. We'll test the market and then go on from there because we can live with what we've got in the room. And the answer is the latter, is that we've got enough in the room. So I am, and upgrading, I love the fact that we feel like we're in position on a lot of different places on this team, but that we can make those subtle but yet significant upgrades position at a time as we go along and not let the team get too old or too stale or a guy playing 1 year too long and he's past his window and we didn't do something about it beforehand. I think that is good that they're doing those kinds of things. I mean, even the Bradbury thing. If you're going to go out and get a center now, it shows me that they care more about things that are already better than they ever were for Bradbury. We're still willing to go out and get some more muscle that we can count on to upgrade it and make it even better. He's good. He's as good as he can be. His version of himself that's about where he tops out at. We got a guy that can come in that is better than that now today than he is at his best when he's on the field. And he misses games. I don't believe an offensive lineman should miss game after game after game. I just don't buy it. I don't buy into it. I've known guys that played with everything and anything and stayed on the field and played quality football and didn't go sit somewhere and wait to get better. It wasn't the mentality of the group I played with at all. I've seen Gary Zimmerman put a pin in his hand, miss only 1 day of practice after he broke it, play the next game with a cast on, and block Bruce Smith. I mean, I've seen that happen. I've seen Randall McDaniel play with a torn quadricep muscle, popped all the way off down by the knee and rolled all the way up to his high thigh and did not miss a football game. Didn't miss one. Wow. Jeff Christie was trying to play with a broken ankle that he broke in a preseason game. They had to take him out, but he was wanting to play. had a broken ankle. Susie played with a shoulder separation all season long. They put it in a sling, and they put him on the field, and he was going to play. He didn't miss a game. It was separated. He had a third-degree sprain of his shoulder. It was separated legitimately. Waited till after the season to have it done, the surgery, and played in a harness and went to the Pro Bowl. I'm just saying that's what kind of stuff we had on the field. That kind of toughness is what I'm still waiting on. Darisaw is the biggest truck I've seen come through here in a long time, and about as good a blocker as I've seen here in a long time. He's the real deal. When he takes games off, I don't care. Concussion this, concussion that. Get on the field. Tell him you're good.
Yeah.
Tell him you're good.
We're not advocating that.
Yeah, I tell him you're good. I say tell him. I played scrambled all the time. I had 9 concussions, and it's hard to unscramble scrambled eggs. So I just played, kept playing. But I know what they're doing. I know what the precautions are. I know what the head trauma has become, and how much more we know about it. But there are a lot of people that are just still getting their bell rung. Get up and play. There's more than just concussion. There's another level down that I think most of these guys are just finding a free week or two. Don't miss games. Just don't miss games.
All right.
I'm done. I'm done harping.
Well, the Vikings are upgrading. You got your house. You want to make some upgrades. There's got to be a place you want to go.
Is there? I mean, I got places I've really got one place. Well, 4.
Okay.
Owned by a family, the Polici's. Polici's Ace Hardware is where you'd want to go if you're looking for one of those places. Because, of course, Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks. 2 words, botched completely. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks. I'll get it. I wish Amanda was in. She couldn't do it. She had a school meeting. The gal that helped me set all this stuff up to bring Ace to the table and become part of the Starstruck podcast. I can't even say the line. I can't even say it. So anyway, get on down there and just don't mess up the other part of it where you need to go find paint. And we have some other big things coming down the pike here this month with DeWalt Power Tools. I'm going to talk to you about that more in the future, but they've got the next 3 months. And so the paint people are going to have to take a break. But for the time being, Clark Kensington and Benjamin Moore are the 2 companies that they represent, 2 of the bigger companies that they represent. They also have all the technology in the world to be able to match up your paint and get the right color to match up with what you've got on your wall pre-existing right now. And as long as there hasn't been an arrow shot through it or anything like that, it should match perfectly. Okay, so get down there. Don't blunder and meander through through a warehouse somewhere thinking you can get the job done. You won't. You'll mess it up. If you want the upgrade, go to the right place. That's Ace Hardware. Polici's Ace Hardware. It's in Zumbrota, Farmington, Rosemount, and Egan. Get down there. Tell them I said that I told you to stop on by. The superstar knows what he's talking about all the time. I don't want to blunder anymore. I made a lot of mistakes in the house.
Oh, it's over.
Yeah, it's over with. I'm done with that. And so
the
Polici Ace Hardware, get down there. Tell them I said hi.
All right. And then, you got to get there, right? And you want to arrive in style.
You do. You can walk. If you're me, I'd be in style. I mean, look at me. Don't look at me. Get in a truck, a really fine truck, a nice truck, and drive on down there. Put 4 good wheels underneath you, reliable. Could be 4-wheel drive. Could be just a nice sedan off their lot, new or used. They've got everything at, I haven't mentioned the name yet, Dodge of Burnsville. Head on over there, Dodge of Burnsville, in Burnsville, ironically, and they will take care of you in every way, shape, and form. They'll walk you through the process. They'll take good care of you on your trade. They'll set you up down the road service-wise. They will take good care of you. So just walk on down past all the dumpster yards, known as every other dealership but them, and just walk in there and just say, look, looking for a new car, new truck, whatever, this color, that color, they'll have it on the lot. Don't worry about that. Slide up on the red carpet, right next to the 5 golden stars above the door. I just lied. There's none of that. They don't have red carpet out in the parking lot. But just try it out. Give it a shot. Say hi to Adam Saba. Say hi to Mark Saba. And tell them the superstar Mike Morris sent you down there. And you need a nice truck or a car to go buy your paint. Okay? Do it that way. I said so. there.
There you go.
So that's it.
Send us off with a final thought, please.
Final thought is, what will we do next? Will JJ be the franchise guy that we thought? We're going to delve into that. Next week, hopefully, if everything goes well, I will have, as a follow-up story, the man that I shot the crossbow arrow into will join me to say what he
Not
thought.
into him, into his house. He's not coming in here with
did I
Steve
say
Martin
that?
with an arrow through his head.
I don't want him to have the Steve Martin Saturday Night Live arrow through his head.
Yes.
But I did shoot a crossbow arrow into his house. Not intentional. It was not intentional. So I'm going to have him tell his side of the story hopefully next week if he can join me. Okay? And we'll just leave it at that. For Jim Rich, the great Jim Rich, I am the superstar Mike Morris. There's no question about that. I mean, you're listening to someone who shot an arrow through someone's house. You know it's me. And that's about all we've got. So tune in next week and you'll hear more about what I just explained to you, okay? And we'll follow up the Vikings over and over again until we get it right. We're going to the Super Bowl this year. My prediction. Better shut the mic off. Okay. Have a good one.